and you can play all the sound bites from the days after when you heard Republicans blaming Donald Trump, some being short of saying he should be impeached, saying he should be held accountable. And 4 years later, we are here. It is a stunning political comeback attributed to how Trump played it afterward, how Democrats played it afterward, or something else.
To me, the big message is that in the United States, the people decide. And because of the disastrous 4 years that came after Donald Trump, the people decided to return Donald Trump to power.
It is tough, though, Scott, because when you say the people decide, that's what people tried to make sure didn't happen on January 6th, was allowing the people to decide.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And 4 years ago, MAGA extremists launched a direct attack on our democracy. They marched to the Capitol, fueled by lies and conspiracy theories, with Donald Trump as their commander-in-chief. These people weren't just angry protesters, they were traitors, determined to overthrow the government, destroy the Constitution, and install their leader as an authoritarian. And what's worse, 4 years later, Republicans are working overtime to rewrite the history of that dark day. They want us to forget the chaos and violence. They want to paint those insurrectionists as patriots. But let me tell you something, they weren't patriots. They were criminals, and no amount of spin or revisionist history is going to change that.
Those people have suffered long and hard, and there may be some exceptions to it. I have to look. But, if somebody was radical, crazy.
But you're going to consider pardoning even those who've pleaded guilty to crimes, including assaulting police officers?
Well, sometimes they say, here's your choice.
You're not ruling it out?
Look, I know the system. The system's a very corrupt system. I'm going to look at everything. We're going to look at individual cases, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to be acting very quickly.
Within your first 100 days, first day?
First day.
First day.
Even Newsmax, a far-right network that's practically a MAGA megaphone, had to push back against this nonsense. Their host, Sarah Williamson, confronted a January 6 denier and told him, "We have the videos."
They're going to find is the assault was either by a water bottle or a flagpole. And I do think that Trump is going to do this in day one. I don't think he's going to leave any of the heroes from January 6 behind. I think Trump realizes a lot more about the day than people may give him credit for. We've done a lot of research with the lawyers and worked on a lot of cases, seen a lot of video to kind of offset what the narrative from the media has been. And it's a totally different story. I hope that Trump is more in the know.
David, I just want to clarify, though, there was violence on January 6th. Like, we have the videos, so you can say, it was, there's no denying it when you see the videos there. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear.
We all saw what happened. It wasn't some hidden conspiracy or a quiet act of civil disobedience. It was live on our TV screens. The mob broke through barricades, beat police officers, shattered windows, and smeared feces on the walls of our Capitol. They chanted, "Hang Mike Pence." They hunted Nancy Pelosi. They weren't peaceful protesters. They were violent extremists. And they came within minutes of harming the very leaders who were trying to certify the election. That's not something that you forget. That's not something you rewrite. And yet, people like Scott Jennings, political hacks, and Trump apologists are out here on shows like CNN trying to sugarcoat the insurrection. Kate Bolduan called him out, and rightfully so. This isn't something you can spin. It's not up for debate. It's history, and it happened. What's even more infuriating is how Republicans are twisting this into some kind of narrative that Donald Trump's return to power is what the people wanted. Give me a break.
Joe Biden became the president. He had one of the worst terms of any U.S. president, and then the people scrambled back to Donald Trump. That is the history of what happened.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I look at today, Donald Trump is inheriting one of the best economies that a president has inherited in a very long period of time. If you look at the fact that something like net migration at the border is lower than it was even before Donald Trump took office. If you want to look at the stock market, you're looking at the stock market rising.
I'm sorry. I'm
not even finished running it down yet.
This is the first time. The border needs to be secured further, and this number can be accurate.
But this is the first time in dozens of years that a president has actually inherited a government where we don't have soldiers overseas in active combat zones. So, I mean, let's actually look at where we are.
Donald Trump didn't win in 2024 because people scrambled back to him. That's the biggest lie that they're pushing. He squeaked by with one of the narrowest victories in modern history. Trump didn't win because he was loved. He won because so many people have been disillusioned by our political system. And now he's pretending that he has some kind of mandate. Let's be clear, he doesn't. The truth is, Trump is inheriting a strong economy that he had nothing to do with. Joe Biden did that work. Biden's presidency wasn't perfect. No presidency is. But he left this country better than he found it. Inflation, which spiked globally due to the pandemic, has come down significantly. Jobs, Biden delivered. Millions of Americans got back to work. And let's not forget the infrastructure investments. Biden built roads and bridges. He passed the CHIPS Act, bringing manufacturing jobs back to the United States. He invested in clean energy through the Inflation Reduction Act, moving this country closer to energy independence. These are the real accomplishments, and now Trump gets to walk in and act like he made it happen. Don't let him fool you. Biden did the work. Trump just got lucky and with timing. But while Biden was focused on progress, Trump is already busy dragging us backwards. One of his first promises, to pardon the January 6 insurrectionists. Let that sink in. Trump wants to reward the very people who tried to overthrow our democracy. He's not just rewriting history. He's doubling down on the lies. This isn't just a political stunt. It's a dangerous message. Pardoning these criminals says one thing loud and clear. Violence works. If you storm the Capitol, if you beat police officers, if you trash our democracy, you'll be forgiven as long as you're loyal to Donald Trump. We've seen the violence. We've seen the damage. No amount of denial can erase that. But Trump and his loyalists are trying anyway. They're counting on people to forget. They're counting on people to move on. And while they rewrite the narrative, they're undermining the very foundation of our democracy. This isn't just about politics. It's personal. For people like Jackson Reffitt, whose father, Guy Reffitt, is in prison for his role in the insurrection. Trump's promise to pardon these criminals is terrifying.
If Trump pardons your dad, what's your biggest fear?
Just getting shot in the street. I don't know.
By your father?
By my father, by someone he knows. There's a bunch of people that I don't know, and I don't know their intent.
Jackson's dad is Guy Reffitt, who was a member of the Texas 3%er militia.
And I just kept going, go forward! Go forward! I couldn't even see, bro.
He's serving a more than 7-year sentence for his role in the January 6th Capitol attack. Reffitt was convicted of 5 felonies, including carrying a firearm on Capitol grounds.
So you reported your dad to the FBI?
Yes.
That's what got him arrested, basically?
More or less, yeah.
What effect has that had on your family?
It's destroyed it.
Jackson turned his father in to the FBI because he knew what his father was planning. He knew the danger. His father even threatened him, saying, traitors get shot. Think about that. A father threatening his own son because of a political cult. Jackson did the right thing, but now he's living in fear. He's afraid of what will happen if Trump follows through on his promise. He's afraid of the extremists who have been emboldened by Trump's rhetoric. And he's not alone. Families across this country have been torn apart by January the 6th. The insurrection didn't just attack the Capitol. It attacked communities, friendships, and even families. Pardoning these criminals would tear those wounds open again. It would validate the extremists and send a message to their actions that their actions were justified. It's not justice, folks. That's chaos, and it's dangerous. What's even more disgusting is the hypocrisy of it all. Trump loves to talk about law and order. But what kind of law and order is this? He wants to free the people who trashed the Capitol. But Leonard Peltier, a Native American elder who has been in prison for decades under questionable circumstances, remains behind bars. That's not justice. That's not fairness. That's Trump using his law as a weapon for his own benefit. He doesn't care about justice. He cares about loyalty. And if you're loyal to him, well, then you can get away with practically anything. This isn't just about January 6th anymore. It's about what kind of country we want to be. Do we want to be a nation that rewards violence, that excuses insurrection, that lets people off the hook for attacking our democracy? Or do we want to stand up for the rule of law? Do we want to hold people accountable, no matter who they are or who they support? That's the choice that we're facing right now. 4 years ago, Trump sat in his private dining room watching the insurrection unfold like it was a reality show. He didn't call for help. He didn't tell his supporters to stop. He did nothing. And now he wants to turn those same criminals into heroes. That's not leadership. That's betrayal. And if we let him get away with it, we're betraying our democracy as well. History won't change just because MAGA wants to rewrite it. We know what happened on January the 6th. We saw it with our own eyes, and we know the damage that Trump did. The question now is whether we're going to let it happen again. Because make no mistake, pardoning these criminals isn't just about the past, it's about the future. It's about whether we let violence and lies take over our democracy or whether we stand up and fight for the truth. The fight for democracy isn't over. It's up to all of us to hold the line, to demand accountability, and to make sure that the truth still matters in this country. What happens next will define us. It will define our democracy, and it will define the legacy we leave for future generations. And that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.